Decimal numbers. Actually, under the little subheading under decimals is rounding them. And under rounding, let's see what we got here. Let's say you've got this decimal number. No. Write down this problem.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to grab the book.
Write down this problem. You ready? I say go. Dan wanted to buy a book for $6.89. Dan bought, let's streamline, book, how much did I say? $6.89? Yes, Mr. Hurst.
Yes.
Participation class today. Sales tax was 8%.
What's 10% because you figure out?
I don't think, well, Chicago was 10% for a while, but then I think they backed off. Ours is what? There's a trivia question. Zach Roth, what is our sales tax? Do you even know what sales tax is?
Let's just go with 7.
I think it's 7 3/4.
Oh, come on!
7.25?
3.5. I think 7.75.
But it's only on certain items. Some items are taxed lower. You look at the bottom.
Food
and
items
see
generally are.
Food is like 1 point something.
In Michigan, I'm not even sure if food is taxed at all.
Nebraska food is not taxed.
Then there's like a
at all.
fast food, what?
Nebraska food is not
Fast
taxed.
food tax is more.
Yes, takeout tax.
There was going to be a soda tax, but that kind of cleaned out fast.
It was there for a while.
Which, let's just stop for a moment here because, you know, you should kind of, before we figure out the exact amount here, you should be able to kind of take a pretty good guess what you're going to pay in taxes. Now remember, percent means out of 100. Okay? So an 8% tax means that 8 out of 100, if you have a $100 thing, you'd have an $8 tax on it. Or, let's make it simpler, if you have 100 cents, you would pay 8 cents in tax. So if you were guessing and you have, let's make this cents, 689 cents, about what would you pay in tax? Let's get a Google answer. If you pay 8 cents for every 100 pennies, and you are having 689 pennies, which is close to 700 pennies. Maybe I should write that out loud. So let's do this here. You pay 8 pennies for every 100 pennies. I don't have 100 penny, I have how many penny? About 700, right? So here's kind of the way you think about this mentally. 700 is how many times bigger than 100? 7 times 100, which means the tax would be 7 times bigger as well. 7 times 8 is?
56.
So your tax is going to be awful close to 56 cents, which makes sense because that's not, 50 cents is not an outrageous number, but it is relatively high. Now, let's see, how would I figure out what, let me see what how much was the tax really? How much really was the tax? Now, you might ask yourself, what in the wide wild world of sports does this have to do with rounding? I will show you what it has to do with rounding. First of all, how do we find out? I will tell you this 1 bazillion times because kids have a hard time figuring this out. Anytime you're trying to figure out tax or tip, it's always a multiplication problem. You want to know what 8% of $6.89 is. 8% of. The word of in math, 95% of the time means multiply. So I need to do this. I need to take $6.89 and multiply it by 8%. Now that causes a little consternation there. Why, you ask?
Why?
Because we don't deal well with percents. 8%, we need to change that to a usable sort of number. So we either need to change it to a fraction or a decimal. And since this is in decimal form, does anybody know what 8% is as a decimal? And if you don't, think about what it is as a fraction. Percent means out of 100. We just talked about that. So this is 8 out of 100, or 800ths. And 800ths is what as a decimal, Caleb?
0.08.
Very good. 0.08. It's not 0.8 because 0.8 is actually 80%. That'd be a really high tax rate. So I need to multiply 6.89 times 0.08. That will tell me how much money I will pay in taxes. And hopefully you can do this math with me. 8 times 9 is 72, carry the 7. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 7 is 71, carry the 7. 8 times 6 is 48, plus 7, 55. Somebody enlighten me as to where the decimal will go in that answer based on where it is in the multiplication problem. Please don't tell me you line them up, because you know, sit to learn.
In front of the first 5.
Exactly. This has 2 decimal places. This has 2 decimal places. That's a total of 4. So I come back 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's my answer. But the problem being, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, by the way, this is in dollars. We don't have anything that goes this small in money. This is how many dimes, right? 5 dimes. This is how many pennies, 5 pennies, 55 cents. We don't have a thousandth of a dollar, nor do we have a 10,000th of a dollar. So, because of that, we need to round, because we don't have that. Now, how do I know? Here is my choices, by the way. If you look at this, it's always good to start right here. Your choice is either, your answer to this is either going to be 55 cents or 56 cents. Those are the 2 numbers, the 2 senses that falls between. Which one is it, why is it, and how do I know? You have to answer at least 2 of those 3 questions I just asked you. Do you think it's going to be 55 cents, 56 cents, and why? And what tells you? And how do you know? And really, who cares? Just take an extra penny with you in case it's the higher one and you're okay. Zach Roth says,
But I think it should be 55 cents.
why?
Because the one before the second 5 is a 1 and it's not higher than 5.
Zach hit it right on the nose, okay? This little number right here, this in the thousandths place, okay? In order for that to be bigger than half of, what? I should ask you this. And this is do you know what a half a penny would be written in decimal form? What would be a half of a penny? 1/2 of 1 penny. Really? Boy, we struggle with this here. Let's look at a number line. Here is no pennies in decimal form, right? What is 1 penny in decimal form?
100.
0.01, right? What would be halfway between those? Uh-oh. When the pen doesn't work, it's trouble. What is halfway between those? This is where people struggle. Looks like Zach Roth is the only one that has his hand down.
Yes.
Have we done division with decimals? Yes, we have.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it division-wise then. Here. Take 0.01 and cut it in half or divide it by 2. What are you going to get? Man, this working with decimals, this is like 7th grade stuff. Anybody, what's half of 0.01? Half of 0.01. Grace would like to share her answer, but she's slightly afraid that she doesn't have it right. What is it? What do you have, Grace? 5/10 is way, that's like having 5/10 is 5/50 cents. That's way out there, and that's like a lot of money. That's like having 50 of these. 500ths is like having 5 cents. That's like way out there too still.
0.05.
No, 0.05 is 5 pennies. It's not a half of a cent, that's 5 cents. Lauren!
5,000.
It is 5,000. Look, 0.005, that is half of 1 cent. Why? Look what happens if you add 2 of them together. What do you get? What do you get if you add 2 of these together? 5 plus 5 is 0, carry the 1. If you add those 2 together, you get a penny, so that has to be a half. So going back to what Zach said, it's true. See, this third digit, if this was 5, it would be 1/2 of a cent, but it's not. It is a 1, and because it's a 1, it's way less than 1/2 of a cent. It's actually 1/10 of a cent, by the way. And that means this 0.55 is much closer to 55 cents than it is on 56 cents. Maybe this would help. Somehow I think I'm losing most of you. Look at this. Here's 55 cents. Here's 56 cents. If I cut this into 10 pieces between those two, let's see if I can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What would be the decimals? By the way, this is 0, and this is a 0. This is 0.551. This is 0.552. This is 0.553. This is 0.554. This is 0.555. This is 0.556. 0.557, 0.558, 0.559, 0.59. And the thing that we had was 0.551, right? That doesn't matter what comes after because that's not going to change anything. So this, the thing we had the number of, actually, what was it? 0.551 what? 2. Which means 0.5512 means it's 0.551, and 2/10 of the next one right here is 0.552. So 0.5512. Now, is it closer to 55 cents or 56 cents? Way closer to 55 cents. That is so exciting.
Yeah. That is so exciting.
So the deal is this, especially when you see problems like this, if it's money, you have to round to the nearest cent. And rounding to the nearest cent means you need to look at whatever digits in the thousandths place, because cents are in hundreds place. Hundreds place, thousandths place. The 1 in the thousandths place tells you whether the cent gets rounded up or stays the same. That's the only thing that tells you that. Well, let's look at some more examples here. I'm glad you came to class today because this is more than I know. Round to the nearest tenth. Let's do this. Round to the nearest tenth. And I'm going to give you 3 different problems here. They are 0.12. They are 12.345. And they are 2.375. Now, what place am I rounding to, ladies and gentlemen? Say it out loud for me. I'm rounding to the tenths place. So in each case, I am going to look at the digit in the tenths place, which is this one, which is this one. That's that, and which is this one. Okay, I'm going to round. Those are the ones that are getting rounded. What tells me if they go up or stay the same is the digit that comes after them. The actual one in the hundredths place. The rest don't matter. I could have digits going on forever. They get so small as you get away from that decimal, they don't make any difference. So this one, 0.12. You only look at the digit after it. If it is 5 or bigger, you round up. If it is 4 or less, you round to keep it the same. So this one's going to end up being what? And here's where you have to be careful. Anybody? Let me shoot it at you there. Is it going to be, here's your choices. Your choice is either 0.1 or 0.2. Those are your only choices because these are rounding to the nearest tenth. That's in the tenths place. That's either 0.1 stays the same or goes up. And it's going to be Autumn? 0.1 because this is a 2. Now notice, if you've caught nothing that I've said so far, get this one thing in your mind. Usually when we round, for example, if I have 785 and I ask you to round that to the nearest hundred, what is it? Aaron? 800. Usually when we round, you round the number in there and the other ones become zeros. When you do decimals, I don't write this 0 or this 0. If you're rounding to the nearest tenth, your answer will only have a tenth in it, nothing to the right of it. Why? Because if I said my answer was this, that is not 1/10, that is 10 100ths. Okay? If you're rounding to the nearest tenth, your digit, you have to stop at the tenths place. You don't change them all to zeros and keep writing zeros for whatever's left there. Okay? What is this one? We'll get more of that there. 12.345 rounded to the nearest tenth. Again, the first thing you should think about is my choices. My answer is either going to be 12.3 or 12.4 because that's in the tenths places. It either stays the tenth place, either stays the same or it goes up. And in that case, Leighton, it's going to be
12.3.
12.3. Why? Because that 4 is not 5 or greater. And again, you don't change these to zeros. You don't write zeros because that makes it 12 and 300,000ths, and that's not what we want. We want tenths. How about this one? 2.375. Your choices are either 2.3 or 2.4. Chase, it is 2.4 because this bad boy is bigger than 5. And again, it just is 2.54, sorry. Let's try some more because I think there's a slight glimmer of hope that there's a chance you may or may not get half of this. How about this one? It says round to the nearest cent. To the nearest cent. So here are my choices. By the way, cent is what place in decimals? A cent is what place? The tenths, the hundredths, the thousands, the 10,000, the millions place. 1 cent is what decimal place? Oh boy. Connor? Hundredth. So that's rounding to the nearest cent is the exact same thing as rounding to the nearest hundredth place. They're the same thing because a penny is 1/100th of a dollar. So here we go. $6.6666 $0.4625 and ladies and gentlemen, $0.0833. Tell me, ladies and or gentlemen, rounded to the nearest cent, what each one of those would be. 6.666, 0.4265, and 0.0833. How about this first one? Riley, $6.6666 would round to what in cents? Or rounding it to the nearest hundredth place. The answer would be 7 if I said round to the nearest dollar, but I'm rounding to the nearest cent.
700.
What?
700.
We're missing a few digits in there though. I agree one of them is going to change to a 7, but which one?
Second.
After the decimal. Yeah, this changes to a 7, but you got to keep the stuff to the left of it. $6.67 because of one of the thousands and 6. You have to keep that dollars and cents place there. How about 0.4625 rounded to the nearest cent is going to be Sophia? You can look up here. 0.4625. Again, look, your choices are either 46 cents or 47 cents. That's all you have because you already got the 4 and the 10s. Why would it be 47 cents?
46.
Why would it be 46 cents?
47 cents.
Why would it be 47 cents? I mean,
6 is added in 4.
What digit am I looking for, Joseph? Or looking at?
The 6.
Well, it's either 46 or 47 cents. How do I know which one it is?
The number to the right of
Which is
2.
so it stays
46.
right. It's the thousandths place you look at. This is 46 cents. This one. 0.08333333333333. Aaron Murray. Why? Yeah. Your choice is either 0.8 cents, or 9 cents, because that's what this is. You always look to whatever digits to the right of the penny. It's a 3, so it stays the same. It's 8 cents. By the way, don't worry, this 7th graders have trouble with this too. How about this? Round to the nearest whole number or dollar. Round to nearest whole number or dollar. Nearest dollar or nearest $1 as we do. 16.75. 4.875. Or last but certainly not least, $73.29. How about this first one? Who wants to take a shot? Nearest whole number or dollar there, what would this one round to, Shannon? 16.75. Nearest whole number. Whole number means there are no decimals at all. Your choices for this one is either 16 or 17.
17.
Why 17?
Because 7 is 30.
Because this is what you're rounding. You look at the digit to the right of it, it's about 5, so this goes to 17. How about 4.875 to the nearest whole number? To the nearest whole number. Madison?
5.
5. And what about $73.29 to the nearest dollar or whole number, Connor?
$73.
Yep, $73. Why? Because that's only the 2 after it. Doesn't matter. You can have 8 billion digits after it. It's still going to be 73. I could keep writing this till yesterday. It's still be 73. What do you think of that? Isn't math exciting? Don't you wish we could have math for 4, maybe 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
These students are